There's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say?
Hello, people.
Oh, you just caught me reading Saga.
What Saga, Jerry? Tell us about Saga. Welcome, people of the internet. Today's intro was courtesy of Lloyd from On Tabletop. I think he had a stroke.
You can definitely smell hair burning and vanilla.
Well, to be honest, I've looked up some YouTube videos of people filming foxes in the night, and they actually make weird sounds. Not really like that, but something along those lines. So, strap in, folk. This list today is a bit longer than usual, because Jerry did one, I did one. We meshed them together, and now we will see what will happen.
Took the lists, and then we went, now kiss.
And the biggest problem will be at some point, and I think I can predict at what point, we will start to digress. A bit. Possibly. Maybe.
I don't know. Don't know what he's talking about. Don't even know who he is.
That's my secret. So, shall we get on with the first one by Shingen Hobby Exploits 2020. I think either he's reusing his picture or we were here before.
Oh, we've been here before, but we've not been here for a while.
Oh, so has he. 4th of August was our last visit.
Yes.
And then he's done... Oh yes, I read this project. He lost his mojo, which is a thing currently happening to a lot of us. And I think that's just par for the course. Natural part of the hobby. Having a low at some point.
Not much you can do about that. But, came back in August and has been banging out some more hyper-punky type things. So I think... I don't know what he's doing there. He appears to have a toast rack, maybe?
I think that's a breastplate-mounted laptop. So
are we sure it's not a toast rack?
Let's go. Could be a toast rack. Or maybe... now it's a paint station. It's a mobile paint station. He's doing a hobby on the job.
Could be is it a gum jabbar? Put your hand in it, young tradies.
There's just paint in it, nothing more.
But it's very nice. Slav-looking fella there with his...
and he has a very clean line of painting.
Does. I do like the job he does when he actually sits down and starts painting. Weirdly, I kind of like the denim on that, because there's almost like a pitting... rather than brushstrokes, where it looks like he's been dabbing on highlight colors to get that sort of faded denim affair.
It looks a bit like actually washed out in the high areas. And I think that would be achievable if he had done a black undercoat and a zenithal highlight with white and then a more or less transparent blue.
Yeah. But you can see on the sleeve of the leather jacket there's more of that dashing. So it definitely has been... It's not just a zenith and wash and go. There's been time and effort put in. You're right, somebody hasn't painted the cross. I don't know who he is. Don't know if his cross is something in particular. He's got quite nice Oreo cookie affair on his coat there, which is good.
You mean this cross on his shoulder and the... obviously chrome buttons that need to be chrome.
Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he's decided to go down with the Oreo and just stick with the chocolate. Maybe. And
then he's done a typical cyberpunk lady. I wonder, are those regular cast or are those 3D printed?
Like a net runner. Printed.
I almost thought as much, because I was getting a hint of resin print lines, though they are much harder to see.
Where are they?
On
zoom in.
On the one with the denim there.
Oh right. Oh, so you're not just focused on her arse then?
No, of course not. And
just checking.
Even if I would be doing such a thing, I wouldn't what's that word? Confess on stream.
Yeah.
I
Sure, why not?
I will say
What's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to clip it out and upload it to the YouTubes. You're already going to upload it to the YouTube, so not worry.
I'm the last one to say I'm not a man of many tastes. I've got a hobby room. So there's that. And this is his latest entry in the cyberpunkian...
Yeah, Hazy Boy. Or something like that. Close enough, Hazy. So this is trying to push on from the hobby burnout. Just go, well, try and get some paint on some miniature somewhere. So we've got these delightful fellows here. One of which, I'm assuming that's a misprint on the barrel. Either
Looks
that
like
or
it.
it's a flamer that's a bit too hot and melty. But he's got that grungy, grimy looking fella kind of thing going on. They're a deck team from Statue Skew.
Looks a bit like a mechanic who's headed with his customers and is now snapping.
Trying to think of the name of Steve Buscemi's character in Armageddon. Rockhound, where he just goes off on one and starts firing the gun on the meteor because he's lost his shit altogether.
Though the back
And
of
he's got his Russian mate with him and his massive wrench to beat the shit out of things.
the back of the suit somehow reminds me of Dead Space, the computer game.
Yeah, computer game.
With the
Sure, why not?
Where the lonely mechanic is in space and trying to do Resident Evil style monster killing.
Right. Okay. That was called Dead Space.
I think it was Dead Space.
What was the one then that people keep banging on that they should be making a third one of? Was that not a mechanic?
The
fighting
oh, you mean
things with a
Half-Life?
crowbar.
That's Half-Life.
Yeah.
That's
So it's a different mechanic.
that's a
fighting
way
different things.
older game. Half-Life was made by Valve.
You kids with your music television.
Yes. Did you leave the link for the chaps at home in the chat? Yes, you did.
Yes.
Very
Yeah, I
well
did.
done.
No.
Very well done. Just checking, making sure you pay attention. So
Please pay attention.
the next will be something, again, where I can say we made him do it. Well, at least we made him show the project off. This was in last week's XLBS by Greystoke. I spotted it in the background and I was furious because he did make a project of this.
You know what the sad thing is,
Well,
we've already experienced this because
apart
he's posted pictures in the House of Water. So if you were in a proper house, you'd have seen this already.
Well, I can't change houses now. That would be
Same.
too obvious. But what really drives me
I'm
mental.
risking he did. I'm fairly certain he was in Warren's house to begin with, and then a couple of weeks later he ended up in the House of Water. So I'm fairly certain somebody out there can do it. Hell, I might be able to do it. Who knows?
What really drives me mad is this is an original Kenner Falcon.
Oh yeah, why not? Go nuts.
This is
I could do that. I could do that if I could be arsed going into my roof space.
This is heresy of the highest account. But what really
You know what it was?
struck me is the thing that the GW terrain kit with the plumbing exactly matches the holes on the back.
Vent. It's that GW train kit thing.
Yes.
Weirdly, when I said that, I thought that was the Mantic one, because Mantic do a really nice industrial pipe set like that,
I haven't looked that close, but I'm pretty
which is
sure
all
those-
modular as well. So,
I couldn't tell.
how many skulls are on it? That's the easiest way to tell. It's covered in skulls, GW.
Currently, I'm
If
seeing.
it's got no skulls on it, then probably Mantic. Then 'cause
I'm
they
not
went, "Why the
seeing
fuck
any
have you got
skulls."
Skulls on it.
Is there any picture of skulls? No, sadly not.
Maybe clean them all off. Is anybody else impressed by the ET penis that Dan sculpted live on air? Just while we're here, just while we're taking a look at this.
Yeah, it was almost as funny as the glowing ET finger. And he's done a really nice job on painting this up.
I like it. Yeah,
I think
It's
I could be asked to
subtle.
do something like this for somebody else, to be honest. There would be at some point I would say this is looking too nice. I'm keeping this. You're not getting this back.
It's nice to see that he's getting some spray work done there. I don't know if he has been experimenting much with airbrushing since he got back from that boot camp, because I know he was trying to broke out the airbrush to do the engine ports and the blue stuff. Because I know he sat down with John and got some lessons off John on how to airbrush, which is something I should really fucking do.
Why?
I take little flurries because I own an airbrush, and every now and again I'll go, you know what, I should really be airbrushing more stuff. I'll spend a couple of weeks where I just airbrushing everything, just so the room's covered in dust, and then it gets packed away for months, and I completely forget everything I've done. You stole your airbrush to do as well. Here's the unlucky.
Well, that's why I've banned my airbrush into the garage.
Yeah, it's nice. Well done, him.
So the next project will be Victorian Empire Strikes Back, Denzian.
Just moving from Star Wars to Star Wars.
Yes, some sort of. This is a project we have been looking at before with his lovely, colorful
sandbags.
Sandbags, yes.
Yeah, is that what you were going for there?
I was talking about the Arabs, and I wasn't sure if they were Arabs or Afghans.
Both. Can't it be both?
Sir Sidney Rough Diamond.
Yeah. So he's got a few things going on here. He has been moving away from the wonderful world of South Africa and Zululand, and has been having a punt at some more colonial warfare with the Afghans. And he's picked up Sir Sidney Rough Diamond, which is one of the War Games Illustrated giants in miniature. So anybody who's a fan of the Carry On films will recognise Sid there, and his big laugh.
He looks a bit like an evil video game character.
That is what Sid James looked like in real life, yeah. Like an evil video game character.
Can you describe the robber? He looks like a video game character.
Just go, he looks like a sex pest. Just go, Sid James then? Yeah. He does. I've no doubt if Sid was still with us, there'd be some shady U-Tree-like scandal coming up about him. I've absolutely no doubt. The whole cast of Carry On films were all dicey, very dicey.
He is a lovely figure.
Trying to remember, was that from Carry On Up the Khyber? I assume it was. I remember them having the meal at the end, and Roy Castle wasn't tap dancing for once, which was quite good.
I couldn't tell you.
So it'll mean nothing to the very select members of our audience will know what the fuck I'm talking about there.
Well, that's the usual thing. You're talking about things I listen joyously because of your soothing voice. Or what was the word that was coined in the forums?
Dulcet tones.
Dulcet tones.
Please, can we have somebody start a petition to please get more of me on the interwebs? Very big in Scandinavia.
But why?
Who knows? Yeah.
Shall we venture on? So, Oldenheim, Oldhammer meets Mordheim. This is something where everybody who claims himself or herself to be any friend of Old School Mini will start drooling like a lunatic.
Pierce has been working away on some of his old Hammer stuff, so much so that he's completed his Chaos Dwarf army.
And they look lovely.
And look who's right up front and centre, if it's not Malal's champion.
And this shows you again, these old miniatures really do take on paint well if you're able.
Oh yeah.
There's so much detail in them. It's just look at these little buggers. Look at them. The Cyclops eye on the left. Blue beard and the rear end. I just love these.
I annoyingly only have a couple. I know, it's terrible.
How could that have happened?
Because I never really collected Chaos Dwarves. But there were a few, so like the guy in the front there leaning on his axe with the cloak. I have the alternate version of him, because they had a terrible tendency, Citadel and Heartbreaker and all the rest, they would make 2 or 3 based on the same dolly. They would just vary things. So I think he's leaning on a mace rather than an axe, and he's got droopy horns. They're fucking awesome. And Pierce's work he's done on them is just fucking superb.
Just look at the detail he's got onto these little blobs of metal.
And you could kill a man with those. You put them into a sock, you could rob a bank.
I think if you take him to a jeweler, you could sell them for more than you would get out of a bank today.
I imagine Michael's going through the project system at the moment, knowing about houses that need to be burgled.
You're not saying there's somebody trying to make an auction?
Could be. The greenskins as well, which I think from the start of September, which we hadn't seen on this show, are just divine.
I always seem to... I want to achieve this kind of green scaling in my minis, and I just fail every time. But looking at these, it's just lovely.
Yeah, he's a talented bastard.
Yeah, I hate him.
He cranks them out very quickly as well when the mood takes him, which is saying something, because when he's not playing games or played testing games, he's often painting stuff for box covers for like Plastic Soldier Company, that sort of thing, and then he finds the time to squeeze in stuff of his own. I was like, how? Just fucking how?
I guess
Hi, artist.
This works something along the lines of he's been painting, then the commission work is done, and then he has still some paint on his palette, and then, oh look, I found these in a drawer.
Yeah. Break them out. Post them down.
Don't put them away too far. You never know when you need your prime miniatures to get painted.
Am I the only one annoyed that there isn't a close-up of Caleb?
No, you're not. Also, we just gave him a very nice recommendation score.
666? Oh,
yes.
Nobody else is allowed to press the button. Don't make me come back there. Anyway, yeah, it's Piers. Delightful.
Die!
Should probably knock some points off for not seeing Caleb up close and prompt.
Well,
Just saying.
Just add the comment, everybody. Give us a close-up. And Lloyd shots.
Just spam the Chaos Army so far back. Any chance? Want to see Caleb the Dark up close and personal.
Well, the next hobby then is Murder Hobo Squad. What did Lorna do?
The Lost Mine of... I'm not pronouncing that. This is really nice.
Fun Delver?
Sure, yeah. Go with that. Warren would be in stitches right now. laughing so high pitched that only dogs will be able to hear him. It is a campaign he's starting to run for his D&D group, and it's beautifully illustrated of what's going on, because you have the sort of the storyline along with the world. So we've got various maps and
maps are always good.
Maps, but also feature pieces. So there's like a gateway coming up shortly, which presumably then he's found on Tinterweb somewhere and has used them to go, okay, well, this is what the gatehouse looks like to the group. It's not a particularly long project so far, but it's quite invested. So I quite like how it's done. Although obviously, miniatures for RPGs is wrong.
So this is a online game he's playing.
Yeah, it's the same as us, except he's paying for the privilege of putting fake miniatures on a fake tabletop in an RPG. So
why would you put miniatures?
Who knows? I don't know. Some people do it. They're not right. They're not right in the head.
Well, back in my day, we used to sit in a circle with a table. On it, lots of crisps and sweets and beverages of all kinds of sorts. One behind the DM screen telling a story. We were shouting things we would do. At some point we would have a break, eat some pizza, and after that everything went downhill because everybody got sleepy.
It's the way to do it. So Yeah, I thought the maps and the like would be the official one, but it's well, Londo's there. He can tell us things like the gatehouse and like the cave entrance with the river spilling out of it. Are they just things that you've hunted down from tinterwebs for it, or were they connected to the adventure in some way? Because I'm curious.
Well,
I'm nosy.
the gatehouse.
So just pics from Google.
The gatehouse looks like something of a concept art from what was it called again? The last game of Richard Garriott. Something Avatar.
The Last Airbender.
No, the other one.
I have no idea. It could be that. That could be Joan of Arc. For all I know, or that could be Pendragon. It's probably not gritty enough. There's not enough six-thumb bastards for it to be Pendragon. But anyway, yeah, it's a really nice D&D experience, I suppose. Just there. We don't see many battle reports, and we don't see a huge amount of RPG things. There have been a few kicking around, and every now and again when one surfaces, I always like to see them. Because it's just, we normally only see the beginning. We see the miniatures being painted or the worlds being planned, but we never see the battle reports or the games when they're being played. So it's nice to see the other half, if you know what I mean. It's kind of why I'm here.
And we don't usually get that much text either.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I just put text in and it would confuse people.
I can't... this is driving me mental. I need to
look. You
look
can do a reverse Google search. That's what you're going to do now, isn't it?
No.
You're already derailing us.
No, I'm not reverse Googling. I'm looking up my Kickstarter thingamajig list because that was in there. If it's not in there again... It's not Bard's Tale, not Underworld Ascendant. Oh God, what was it called again?
I have no idea, man. I'm baffled. You're baffling me.
That's what I'm here for. Just hang on there with it. Stay with me.
Careful now.
Stay on target.
So while he's doing that, folks, it's called Castle Gate Small by Jonathan Dufresne on DeviantArt, if that's any help.
Shroud of the Avatar.
I'm just going to go back to reading about the Republican
Romans. That was the name
of
the game I was looking. Well, so then we can move on.
No, you can have a tribune instead of a consul for your Romans. That's good.
That's nice.
It's different, certainly different.
So Lena has done trolls.
Yeah, nobody is more surprised than I.
Did she get shields?
No. Don't worry. I don't want to be brutally honest, she hasn't done trolls either. That's just a project name, although everything sort of gets chucked in there.
Fesliyan, dude. That dude looks like a lady. Dude looks like a lady. It's a green one. A bit pale in face, but... Oh, that's a weird shield, is it?
It's a little half-moon shield, yeah. Could be a lady, could be a bloke, could be an elf. More likely to be an elf. You can't tell these days. That's just somebody having a drink.
Why does Lena have so many Westphalia miniatures, Jerry?
Because I give her a fuckload of my doubles. Don't worry, you whining bitch. I've got a Mandalorian paladin for you here.
I will keep
somewhere
whining and moaning until he actually gets a distributor in Europe.
oh, you probably haven't noticed. To be fair, I found this the other day when I was poking around. Don't mind me, folks.
Oh, the
Judge Dredd transfer sheet I have to send you. So I'll package that up with the Mandalorian. If you go to the Westphalia, he's about to do a new Kickstarter. You really don't want to look near that because it's fucking amazing. Oh, there's a Rackham Inquisitor. They're rare as fuck as well.
No, I won't be looking at Kickstarter anymore. I'm through. I'm done. No, okay. I'm never going to look at it again.
Anyway, while I was on the site looking at that, there's a little thing at the bottom of the Westphalia site about bricks and mortar stores. So obviously he's going to start looking into getting stockists.
Well, I'm guessing
I'll let you know
only in the US because that's easier to...
Well, he's in Canada. His resin caster is in the US, but there's also a resin caster in England. So it's possible. And there was a German.
So
there's
you're
a German
buying
store,
from a
there's German
Canadian company who has made...
buying from a German who gets his stuff sculpted by a Polish fella who is born and raised in Brazil, who then casts it
in England.
In England or America, and then ships it probably to Canada. Depends.
But just the shipping time, the milkshake goes from England to Canada, gets packaged, and gets shipped
Well, not
back.
always. So in some cases, they go from England to other parts of England. Depends. But yeah, there's a lot going on in there.
It's a long-going project, is it?
Yeah, it's been kicking around for a little while.
I just remember...
I still think that one looks like, what you call that, 7 of 9? 7 of 9? Borg woman.
Where? Who?
The female fighter number 1 right at the very start. It's something about the face and the askance look in her eyes. As I assume she's thinking, oh, for fuck's sake,
No.
Janeway, shut up. No, not that one. No, go down one to the one called Westphalia Female Fighter 1. There we go.
Yes, the faces and the hair is very similar. Annika Henson was the character's name.
2 of lumps. I quite like that. It's good.
Well,
Chakotay.
she never could sit in the series because the costume they made her was so stiff she wouldn't be able to breathe.
See, it's funny, Lorna, because when you write Jerry Ryan like that, we're all thinking of the coke-snorting disc jockey from Dublin who died a few years ago. Because his name was Jerry Ryan. Then that may or may not be the same spelling.
Spelling of the names
if that was Jerry Ryan's face, that would be much redder and bloatier.
Or much dead.
Oh, very dead. There was a thing. Oh, actually, fucker must be dead for like 10 years now, maybe, because there was something came up a while ago where for an anniversary, whether it was 10 years or 5 years, they just played a load of his radio shows again all day on the radio in the south. So essentially, they just put on Old Thing as a little tribute to Jerry. And after listening to that, you're going, yeah, fuck it, we miss him. Can we not just play back all his old tapes? I don't care if the news and stuff is completely out of whack now, because quite frankly, compared to what we're listening to these days, it's fucking far better. But,
you know what's scary? One of the main official TV channels in Germany, the first channel, has a news show going on for ages now, the Tagesschau, Daily Watch. And in their app, there's a section where you get the news from 20 years ago. So we are currently at the 2000s. This is so weird to see those and to see these. Yeah, and now we're reunited and East Germany is starting to catch on. This is, and it's going downhill at some point.
Yeah, beats listening to today's news.
Oh, hell
which
yes.
is just fucking terrible. I think we just need to take news back to before 24-hour rolling news coverage, when news was actually news and worth reporting, whereas now they report everything ad nauseum just to fill fucking time. Because when they don't take a break, you've got to fill it with something, and they mostly fill it with shit.
I was actually thinking of getting some of my old tapes out of the boxes and record them to hard drive and then pick out all the old commercials from the 80s and 90s and let them run pre-show. Nice. So German TV ads from the 90s, they're so bad.
Yeah, there's a few Irish TV ads from the 80s and 90s that I think a lot of people wouldn't assume had been ever put on TV outside of, America in the 50s or South Africa during apartheid. Yes, Kiora, we're looking at you.
Oh, God. So,
yeah.
Maybe we should go on to the next project.
Fucking amazing.
Oh, we are short.
Different time.
We are short on something to derail. No, it won't. Firelog 22 is painting HeroQuest. The real one. The good one. The available one. Even.
Well, give it time.
2 years.
They're up to 4 countries now.
What? Oh, you mean if you include US and Canada?
If you include US and Canada,
Yeah. So
they're up to
for
4 countries.
For anybody who hasn't seen this or heard this, oh, strap on.
Strap on. No, thank you.
Hasbro, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to take on 2 shops in New Zealand and Australia. So there are 2 distributors now taking pre-orders for the Hero Quest on behalf of Hasbro.
£30 will secure you your copy.
And you only get to buy the more expensive version for 150 quid.
Yep, spang the rule. That's
So-
every duckling's dream.
Either they've realized that there's much more money to be had and they just are flocking to get something out, or the campaign is going so badly than predicted for them that they need some income from outside the US.
I mean, what's it up to now? Let's have a look. Back to the
1
project.
1.8 million, I think, was
Right.
today.
I would have imagined it was past the 2 million by now.
Nope.
'Cause that fucker's been at 1.8 for 2 weeks now, pretty much since it launched. Because it was 1.8 when we talked about it on the weekend, or like 2 days after it launched, or 3 days after it launched, because we were looking at it going, that's 800,000 for 5 plastic miniatures and 6 dice. What a load of shite.
Yeah, it's. I can't get my head around it. I can't really. Hasbro, explain this, please. Why?
I still think it's licensing. Lena reckons it's not licensing, it's just Hasbro can't be arsed even looking into logistics of shipping. They just don't give a fuck. It's
But
easier for them
they
just to go,
already
we're just
ship
sticking.
shit from the US to everywhere around the world.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
not,
like-
not for people, not for peasants. Just, this is a whole other barrel of nonsense that they can't be bothered with.
It's just amazing. It's
Oh,
so-
sorry, I forgot. Not available in Quebec because they'd have to do it in French as well then, and they can't. They're definitely not. They might not ship it to you, but they're definitely not going to fucking translate it as well.
Well, to be honest, who would want a translation?
I
that's
imagine-
bound to go bad
I imagine
anyway.
French speakers may want it.
Knowing some translations from games of the 80s, I would prefer the original text, please. Pretty please.
Never realised how much Sir Ragnar looks like me.
You think?
Based on their one. The unkempt beard and unkempt hair down to his shoulders.
Well, that could be. So,
He's got an angry look on his face. Maybe he's just seen the price that Hasbro are charging and the fact they're not shipping outside of the United States.
back to the project at hand
Project.
by Firelog. He's done a marvelous paint job on this old elf. I'd say.
He has. It's very nice.
I think this is the way you should play Hero Quest. Nicely painted miniatures on the old board.
Spray black and dry brush.
Not with
For
some weird 3D printed thingamajig. Looking at you, Warren. Looking at you. Not
All right, I'll
scaling.
never see this.
Not scaling it down.
If you don't scale it down, how can you include dragons and stuff?
Make a bigger dragon. Simple as that.
Dragon. Bigger wouldn't fit in there.
Or go abstract and just use a paw.
No, that'd be good.
You know, like in the old Warhammer Fantasy days, when the foot of Mork, or was it the foot of Gork or the fist of Mork? I always confuse them.
Hand him Mork. Because he could pick you up and throw you
And foot of Gork.
at foot of Gork.
Yeah.
For the stompings. Good times.
Do all the
times.
stumpings.
Well, to be fair, back in those Warhammer days, that's how they used to work out attacks. You go bite, claw, tail, everything was broke down. Because some things would have bonuses, depending. I like how it's done the basing.
Yeah,
Match the sort of tiling.
it's an interesting scheme. It's not as boring as the plain ones. I still need these little buggers on the right, these two fellows with axes.
Right.
They are somehow hard to find. The other goblins are easy to get, but those two, I don't know how.
I imagine most people looked at them and went, those axes look shit. I'm going to cut them off and replace them with swords.
That would be true for some, but I think what also would happen is that those are getting recruited into fantasy armies. And then will never be seen again in the box.
It's a concept. I'll give you that. He's got skulls and rats on his bookcases. He's doing well.
Yes.
Can't even find my box. I know it's in the loft. Just can't find it.
What was the bag of skulls? 60 pounds?
60 $60, I seem to remember. But I don't know how many skulls was in it. It was just a bag of skulls. I don't think it was 100.
But I would say they were most likely reproduced.
Oh, definitely. There's no way somebody's managed to hoard together $60 worth of skulls and stick them in a little bag. It's just fucking mad dog shit. Yeah.
It's a nice one. I think
it is.
He should continue.
Is another one that needs. Yeah, he needs a poke because obviously he started this during the lockdown times, before everybody ran out of puff.
So we will just write him a quick comment.
Yeah, just go. Elf's nice, but when are we going to see proper people? Let's see more heroes.
Where is the rest?
Where's the dwarf?
There are people watching live, wanting more! Exclamation thingamajigs.
Don't call him a bitch slapping whore. That may get his hackles up. Don't do that.
No, that I'm leaving that to you.
Okay, I'll do that later. Where's our dwarf?
Next up would be creating my Primaris Space Marines Space Wolf chapter thing by Dane 001.
I want to say, a few years ago, /weeks, /months, it all blurs because of the event, remain indoors. Just starting to see the green stuff work. But now a lot of the green stuff's been done and we're actually seeing the finished pieces. So there is a couple of videos there where you can watch the start to finish paint job and then a whole barrage of close-up pictures.
But you know what?
Yes.
I'm calling moral high ground on this.
Yes.
Because they are not risen.
He didn't raise his bikes up.
He didn't modify the bikes.
Outrageous. Outrageous.
How could he not have done this? It was so easy. See?
Maybe he looked at that.
So easy.
And then he thought, the precious gift of life is required. I'm not willing to do it just to raise up some bikes.
You just cut them and paste them. Or maybe he was lost in time.
Well, by the time it stuck all the green stuff over them and all the rest of it, like, fuck it. I'm not going to cut the wheels off.
Probably best not to know, really.
They're quite nice. They're all based on the new not Space Wolf colour scheme that everybody seems to do these days because I think it's easier to paint. I miss the old Space Wolf colour scheme.
Well, if you miss the old Space Wolf colour scheme, just take a look at Amanda's, however she wants to be called, project. That's one of the first things I remember from joining on Tabletop Beast of War back in the day, that she has been featured more than once on the Hobby Hangout because her skill was drastically improving with every miniature.
I'm to sneeze.
Just go ahead, let it out, let it go, let it go.
No, apparently I'm not going to sneeze now. No.
So then you don't want to build a snowman?
No.
Okay,
you're right. But yeah, so the Primaris, they're quite well done. I quite like them, and you can't really tell where the green stuff begins and ends on the fur in places. So it's been quite nicely done as well. It's just grey. Why are Space Wolves not Space Wolf anymore?
Well,
I'm so confused.
Is the colour still called Space Wolf Grey, or is that the new colour?
Yeah. No. These days, probably Christ only knows what they call, like Lehman Russ has screwed him or something. Who knows? But
liver of the undead.
But it's impossible to keep up. GW's naming has just gone out the window. They still have shit named after Chaos Dwarves, and they haven't sold a Chaos Dwarf in about 20 years. For fuck's sake, there's none of the cunts who buy their paints these days even know what Hashut is. Never mind Hashut Copper. that means nothing to them. So there's no point even trying to keep up with whatever naming convention they happen to be using this week.
I think they're going on a dice-driven naming convention using word dice and just.
Oh, have you ever seen that that cartoon of? They've got like a monkey on a swing shitting, and where shit lands on like a grid on the floor is, how they determine T-shirt prints. So like 1888 San Francisco Bay Club, and, because you get these T-shirts all over the place, and they make no sense at all. And I imagine just defecations of a swinging monkey is probably spot on. In answer to your question, it was Shadow Grey and Space Wolf Grey was the highlight colour, which give you a really spectacularly punchy, whereas you come out, you fuck. And then in one of the, I want to say 5th edition, maybe 4th edition, one of the staff painted a alternate colour scheme using Codex Grey at the time, which was a dark grey. Now, will this pick up, or will this be so fucking blown out?
No, yep, we got it. That looks nice.
And very different. But Codex, the contraster to be able to blend together Space Wolf Grey and Shadow Grey was a whore. They were not colours that lent themselves to easy blending, which I think was why once one person had done Codex Grey, which is just fucking spray black and slap this shit all over. It's like dark neutral grey, so piss simple. Everybody seemed to jump on board that bandwagon, and then GW just went, you know what, fuck it. Space Wolves aren't Space Wolf Grey anymore. Fuck it, move on, folks.
Wait,
maybe I'm a bluff old traditionalist.
Since they're not Space Marines anymore, but Primaris.
That's true.
Well, Dane has done a wonderful job on these bikes. If you can ignore the... how do we put it?
Don't worry. You're in there. We'll get to see how you level up your bikes so they can actually get over.
I was just
speed
about
bump.
to say, we can't hold it against him that the manufacturer of the Mini isn't able to make a realistic bike in a fictional universe.
You've got to the point where your bikes can cross speed bumps, but I'm still fairly certain they can't turn.
No, but at least they could
just lean and just do a big long arc.
At least they could do some turning of evading obstacles, let's say.
Must be so many sparks that kick up. But then Marines have always been weird. Those bolters don't need to be that size in 40k. The only reason they're that size is every picture you see, there's like all these brass cartridges flying out. But the bolters very specifically mini missiles. It's caseless ammunition. There is no brass in there. So the bolter's only that size because it's got like half the clip is for the actual shots and the other half is just filled with fucking empty brass casings to fly out and look spectacular when they're firing.
Yeah, I remember seeing a technical drawing of a Space Marine bolter and always wondered, then why the fuck are there casings if those are self-propelled?
Somebody put it in because they thought it looked cool. And after that they all went, once again, it looks cool. Fuck it. Move on.
I think Tauros is somehow
when they hit 2 million.
Voting himself for being kicked off the channel.
And they hit 2 million. Everybody gets a bike that can't turn corners and kicks up sparks. I think the abomination fishmen ride them.
I know what these bikes are and why they don't need to go in the corner. Those are the bikes from Tron. They go in a 90-degree angle.
90-degree angles. I could live with that. You can't see, but I've got a fuckload of Tron toys up there, including a bike.
Lovely Tron.
He fights for the user.
One of the first computer animated movies. Very nicely done. If you ever watched the documentary on how they did computer rendering back in the day, it will make you appreciate modern things much more.
Very, very little computer rendering in Tron as well. And they were not nominated for an Oscar for special effects because they said they cheated by using computers. Most of it was hand-drawn animations and rotoscoping.
Yeah, but
how the times change when somebody is not nominated because they think using a computer is cheating.
What will happen next? People will get expelled from miniature design contests because it was 3D printed. Speaking of 3D prints, tea, Earl Grey, hot. By Meldrak. So he had a booger up his nose and painted it up.
This is what happens when you sneeze.
Could well be. So he has taken the plunge and bought a 3D resin printer after having a filament printer before. This is a miniature I quite like.
It's peculiar, isn't it?
I don't know what to make of it, or where to use it, or what its purpose is.
Wherever you want. This could be used in every game.
But it looks quite interesting. Plus,
there's not a game out there you couldn't use that in. I would even say things like bolt action. What is that? That's your pin marker. It's the creeping face of death following your squad, boys. Suck it up. What I would like to see is, because I'm assuming that was see-through, I would have liked to see it before he started painting it.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if
it's not see-through, it's fucking amazing.
Either he's done a very interesting paint job, or it's see-through with some inks on it.
Who knows?
He knows, probably.
He knows, and there's a lot of shit written in there as well that probably goes a long way to explaining what's going on there.
Did he tell what he used for resin?
For the resin?
I printed it clear resin.
There you go, see? Clear resin. Elegoo and made of beef or something. I don't know. It's all static. So it started as a great... because that see-through green resin seems to be very popular.
It seems to take on the UV light for hardening better than other resins. For whatever reason. Maybe the paint is...
I imagine because it can get all the way through.
Oh, Dan Lee says... Started as green resin. We figured out ourselves now. Thank you. A figure for when your 3D printer fucks up.
No, I don't know if the 3D printer's fucked up, but if you scroll down for me, pretty please, we should go on top to the very last image in the next generation of 3D printing. Let's go up on. Yep, there you go. So I don't know if his 3D printer ever fucks up, but what has he done to our website?
He's using the magic code of implementing stuff and not letting it resize.
I don't know how he's done it. I can't even click on that. It won't become picture-in-picture for me.
Because
all I've got is it.
If you right-click on it and open the image, you get a URL that is his WordPress. So he's hard-linking it to his own website.
He's hotboxing it.
Yes. These pictures are not in your system. That cheating.
He's a wizard. Oh well, no, I'm sure Warren and the like would be happy because then we're not having to pay to host that picture. Probably. I don't know.
No, you wouldn't. The traffic will be redirected to the WordPress of him.
So everybody click on his things, see if you can up his costs.
If he's lucky, it's all included.
I don't know. WordPress doesn't even make any sense. There's no press involved. It's all on the internet.
Yeah, but the word gets compressed to fit through the lines and the tubes of the interwebs, I think. Somebody told me
through
once.
The interwebs tubes. Not carrying it in a bucket.
Carrier pigeon.
Show-offs. Anyway, so yeah, another lovely piece of paint by Meldrak, even if he has done it on filth 3D printing.
Yeah, but to be honest, this is a figure I can forgive because this is so weird.
There is a... Oh, fuck, actually, because I haven't finished yet. There's an unboxing coming at some point for 10mm elves from Printing in Detail.
10mm.
10mm. And it could not have been produced in any other medium except 3D printing. Because
injection molding would be too fine details?
No, the details on this are even finer, but you can't. It's not even undercuts. There's a mage is holding like a lattice basket of flame. So the only way that could have been made was to be made in sections, and then you would have had to assemble it all because it's hollow in various directions. So in that respect, 3D printing, that if you look at Blob Boy there are a couple of places where there's a hole straight through. That could be done with a mold because the two pieces will punch just that hole. But if you think about this, it's just like a lattice basket being wrought. and they are stunning. And it's just, it's interesting. It's a different type of design. It's not anything I would ever be bothered to do myself because I can't be arsed with 3D printing. But I would buy it. I mean, the fact that somebody sells it made for you and doesn't require me to have a 3D printer or give a shit. Looking at it and you're going, that's really lovely. They're just starting to do some undead stuff as well. I'm hoping to get at some point. But it's stunning.
But 10
the miniatures are yeah, well, 10 minutes. They're actually made for Warmaster. So they're sold in strips of 6. So essentially a regiment a la Warmaster used to be. So yeah, but they're absolutely gorgeous. It's just interesting that 3D printing is technically able to do that.
Looking forward to that then, the video of yours.
That's going to happen.
With much more soothing voice on the internet.
Dulcet tones.
Also,
buy my stuff.
Buy
my stuff.
I know that most of you already heard the story. For the 1 or 2 people who hadn't heard, the only reason I ended up here is because of Jerry. Literally. This is not even a joke. When Legion started, the first playthrough video I saw was him and Justin playing Legion. And at that point, I somehow ended up on the shores of Beasts of War, and they would never let me go again.
No.
And I also told Warren, you need to hire Jerry. We need more Jerry. I will subscribe to
Backstage. I remember that. I subscribed to Backstage.
And at first I was thinking they didn't really hire him now just because they had one more guy playing Jack Backstage. That was
possible.
Probably some weird coincidence.
This is never going to fucking show up. Can you see tiny?
I can see very tiny things. Oh, is it working? It's working. I see what you mean by the flames and the intricate detailings.
Yeah.
It's not in focus, but it's enough in focus to see.
But you would never be able to do that in any other medium. The fact that it's printed in sections, I suppose. Yeah, because otherwise that'd be madness. I mean, anybody who wants to try and do that in 10mm in resin or whatever, and then assemble that, let me know how it goes. I'll visit you in the sanitarium.
So, next up then is a journey into the old world. Wog.
Yeah.
This was a project I had a look at today too, for whatever reason. Maybe because it's orcs.
Could be orcs.
So, Deathwick did some nice paint job on old orcs, and then somehow harassed somebody into giving up their orc collection.
Yeah.
If I read this right.
It's the best way to do it. So front and centre there is Grimgore Ironhide, or as I like to think of him, unpainted, but someday I'll get round to it. I primed him. He's primed. Then I knocked him off the shelf and knocked his head and arm off, but he's primed. So Grimgore he painted up, and he painted up quite nicely. It's amazing what Grimgore looks like. Did he also... Grimgore's normally got his head on a head, or his foot on a head, rather. Did he also cut it off and replace it with something else? Because I did the same thing. Yeah, he did. Anyway.
There's a head in his hand.
There's a head in his hand, but there was something under his foot, because I remember replacing it with a resin cast, because I didn't like whatever he was balanced on. Maybe it was that shield and something else. Maybe it's a little stack of shields. Regardless. I went full on rock, looks less annoying. But he painted it. It's a nice paint job. It's very clean. Clean for an orc, I suppose. Did you even got the gum line in there?
Yes, I was just saying, all these paint lines he's drawn around the tooth, and it's... Why? How?
When you're sitting there with a lovely sculpt like that, you may as well enjoy yourself when you're painting it.
And this is the miniature he nicked off somebody else for small monies.
Well, when he said that, it was like, I'm pretty happy with the result for Grimgore, so I've decided to start scouring eBay for more boys. And whoever he had told that to, he got a message going, I've got a load of orc boys doing fuck all.
Yeah, and half of these is actually the core set that's still sitting in my closet. The chariot, the bowman, and the unit to the right.
Yeah.
I don't think the heavy armory dudes are in the core sets. I think not.
No, they came out years later. I still have 2 boxes, 3 boxes. They used to come as a regiment of 20, and then they reduced that substantially. I still have the box where they're all fucking unbuilt because I pre-ordered them. So I've got 60 of the little bastards who someday will get built. He also has managed to get from that fellow. See the guy right at the very front right? Not the shaman in black, but the man in silver. That's the Games Day Black Orc from, I want to say, 2000. So he was a limited edition model. You can't get him anymore. Yeah, well, you can't get most of them anymore because, GW. But he's fairly rare in and of himself. It's quite nice.
And you just reminded me, it sent me into quite a shock. I don't know when, I don't know where. Somebody gifted me their orc part of the same core box. So I basically have this orc part twice.
Doubled? Oh, excellent. That'd be perfect for Kings of War. Just saying.
I'm never getting old enough to paint all the things I own.
Sure, yeah,
and I'm not having much.
That's why you have children. Think of the fun your daughter will have painting orcs. Paint them whatever colour you want. Pink orcs.
Oh, well, no.
No.
She can have the Imperium.
Oh, yeah.
And paint the horses and the guns and archers.
So, having got in there, we have a fairly detailed description of how he's gone about painting these new Norks. And we get a little sort of grip shot of, I suppose, the front rank or command rank. And it's nice because of the blue. Obviously, we all know blue is lucky for orcs, but you don't often see it.
And again,
especially not on heavily armored orcs. People tend to stick to the black, white, and red.
And he's done, again, the black lining on this is amazing.
He may have cheated by the medium of some form of cheating type things, like, I don't know, wizardry or something. He's null and oiled stuff, so he may have hit it with a wash and then come back in and highlight it up again or something. I don't know. We'll never know. If only there was some way we could communicate with him over tinterwebs. But I really like that pale blue. It's a really nice change for an orc army.
It's something different. It makes it stand out, and he always can add some red orcs.
That is true. He can. I think those are the metal ones, actually. Now I look at those. So he must have a mix of the metal and plastics. Huh.
Paint base rim, yes, very much so. Paint base rim. Also, correct base form.
25 mil squares. Well, there's no point in doing anything else. Can't play with them then. Just saying.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I stumbled across this project today, just shortly before the show, and I had to put it into the list too. So we won't be seeing it again today, but we might have had. Next up, it's the Space Marines again.
Custard Marines. Not all of them are Custard Marines, though.
Oh, airbrushed Necrons. I'm guessing it's airbrush.
Who knows? He doesn't say. I thought it had just been rattle canned and then possibly dry brushed.
Yeah, but the you think the yellow glow on the barrel is dry brushed?
I don't know.
I think that looks very much like an airbrush. Could be wrong. Leave your comments down below to tell us who's right and who's wrong. You can't win anything, but we would like to know.
Remember, don't phone in. It's just for fun.
It's all fun and games in here, and we're all floating.
All float down here. I wonder. Huh.
Are those the old sculpts?
No. Well, certainly that big fella up front, is one of the modern ones. Because the old ones lost all of the, or the old ones had the clear plastic acrylic rod.
Yes.
I wonder if he'd sprayed it white and then sprayed the Necrony bit metallic and then just sort of filled in the blanks. Possibly. Because he does say he had it with base coat of black and then a Zenith spray with lead belcher.
Prime black. zenithal highlight with lead belcher.
Pick out all the areas I want to glow green and paint them with a white. And then hit him and say, but you don't say what you're painting it with, a brush or an airbrush.
Well,
tease. You cock tease.
I think at this point there's a brush. On this special exact model, that should be a brush. I don't think you have that much control over an airbrush.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Unless he went through the troubles in masking off everything not white. Which is a possibility. Would be insane, but possible.
Well, you know, you're only young once. What else you can do with your time?
Paint more Space Marines, obviously.
All right, well, you know, that too. So I think he's rocking through the Indominus box set for this one, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So aren't they from... Yeah, so they are all the new Necrons.
Pretty much like it. Though those aren't the Necron models. The ones I've... Those are different.
They all look alike to me.
Yeah, but
Does that mean I'm Necron racist?
The modern Necrons are much more nimble, more finicky, more fine details. This isn't a... I think he's just wanting to get a paint scheme done that has used old models. I'm going to say, and then we will see the newer versions of them done in this paint scheme.
Okay. Okay, I shall allow it.
Too kind, dear sir.
No, I thought so. Yeah. No need to thank me.
Next time you'll allow myself some ammunition, yes?
Yeah.
Has I earned your trust yet?
Let me just tell you how much ammunition you can have. You have 3 ammunition.
Oh God, we're all gonna die. Next, an old friend of the show, Horatio, the nose-blowing kind. So he's done some Orktober way back when.
So this is an Orktober from last year.
Yeah,
that started and then he fucking stopped.
He just went away, sailed off into the sunset.
What a cunt. And I really want to
just
see it
adding
back
some
again.
textures.
Yeah, there is talk about where he's going to go and stuff he's been doing and working on. And there's Juan Hildago.
He's theorizing
who's amazing.
a very lot.
Yeah, and you see that, you're going, oh, look at this. Consider doing non-metallic metal. Here's a bit of an example. You're going, yeah, fucking do that. Want to see that. So he has reappeared in the past week back on this project.
2 days ago, actually.
Yeah. And said that he's planning on breaking into it and doing some stuff. So he's going to be using one of my, I think, wood tutorials for doing the base type thing. And then maybe the water effect. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Because I'm mad keen on seeing this finish. Because I'm just really curious as to where he's going to go with it. Are we going to end up with this weird looking kilted pirate thing? Because it is, after all, a goblin, and it looks like it's wearing some form of
tartan.
Yeah,
we have
a skirt.
Whatever happened to our little friend?
Rob, we still painting tartan somewhere. Well, last the same.
Shut up, you cunt!
Covering vehicles in green stuff.
In Haribo snakes.
Haribo snakes. So yeah, so this one is really just it's here because it has a lot of potential. I want to see it. I think a lot of people should ping him. I mean, I'm not saying you should definitely go into the last comment and then just comment on it that you want to see progress. Like, you know, I don't think 20 or 30 emails coming through from the viewers of the show here is going to necessarily be a bad thing.
The thing is, we know he's a talented bastard. He can do it.
Yeah.
So
cover Henry Winkler and Bees.
There is no reason he shouldn't do it. And even if he is keeping himself from doing the non-metal, I think that this little piece of snottling buggery would still look fantastic.
It's like he's standing on one of those fairground, you know, throw
throw an apple,
throw a ball, knock the person into the tank type of thing.
And he's standing up there ranting and trying to intimidate people with his little shotgun, with his little flintlock pistol.
Shotgun blues.
So why doesn't work? Ow.
Might. Not telling you. You're not the boss of me, Ray Darcy from Kildare.
No. So the next up then is Lovecraft 2020, doing swamps, ponds, and ton of epoxy. This I've also had in my list today. I'm a bit sad because he always says he's using cheap epoxy from the dollar store. Yeah. Two things. What is the brand name? And B, not every country has a dollar store.
I don't, because you can kind of see it there.
You think that those two components?
Yeah, that's a 2-part 5-minute epoxy. So I know we can get them dirt cheap here as well. Pound Shop probably does them, but you will find them, and the brand name doesn't matter. It will change depending where you're buying it, but it's just there's that double syringe. Squeeze it onto something, mix it together, and then just close all the doors and windows and enjoy yourself while you apply that.
Well, I've got this as a glue for things that are not to get apart again anytime soon, and I think the one I've got is too thick. It doesn't really flow as well as to be used as some sort of water effect.
Yeah, you'll find different ones. I mean, 5-minute epoxy should, when you've got enough down there, and if you're doing a big pond like that, you're going to be probably using half the tube anyway, if not the whole tube at a time.
I think on this size, that's one tube at least.
Yeah. So, you just go nuts, and then just let it flow, and it will. It's viscous enough. It'll find its own level. You can give it a bit of a push with a lollipop stick if you need to.
And he has done some interesting pieces with this.
Yeah. Breaking out all sorts of weirdness to make what I can only assume is a castle that fell down into the swamp.
Oh, I know what castle that was.
Do you think that?
One
Somewhere
day all this will be yours. The swamp!
No, lad, not the curtains.
I feel a song coming on.
None of that. Cut that out. Yes, it's really nice. Just little swampy features. I like swampy features because it normally means you can put archers behind it uninhibited, and yet slow down a cavalry charge, which is very important in my life, I feel.
And what I really like about this project is he's trying something, and if he comes to some conclusion with an important tip to maybe don't do this, or maybe do this another way, he always adds in a tip, which I think is quite nice because it saves a lot of hassle.
I quite like the toilet paper and PVA to make the swamp clingy, drippy things.
And he doesn't seem to be
a technical name.
He doesn't seem to be too happy with it, but before reading the text and I saw the picture, I thought those looked rather convincing of swamp
no problem with those.
growth thingamajigs, whatever you may call them.
Creepers, vines, strands, things.
Moss, Kate.
Lovely Kate. Tip number 1, add flocking and grass before pouring the epoxy. That's a very good tip, actually.
That's the best one.
Especially if you're getting levels.
Or his other tip, don't get too close to flocking and grass with the lighter when you're popping the bubbles.
Popping the bubbles is a very good one, because that's one that you can use with real resin, so actual bought miniature resin for doing water effects.
Like the liquid water stuff from Vallejo.
From Vallejo, yeah. Hitting the top of it with those little blow torches that you can get for doing creme brulees, for caramelizing. They're ideal for it.
I don't know where it is, but I got one.
I have one somewhere as well, but who knows where it currently is today. Actually, to be fair, there's no gas in it. It hasn't been in a while. But if you plan on doing any resin pours, having a little blowtorch like that is fucking amazing, just to remove the bubbles from the top.
Except when you want bubbles in it for some reason. There may be some occasions where you might want to have stirred water.
Well, swamps.
Swamps not so much.
Maybe it's full of dead babies, and you've got marsh gas rising up, and so, bubbles.
Bubbles.
We've got a bunch of dead babies somewhere in the studio.
Dead babies in the studio.
Somebody sent them to. I have no idea who it was. A community member sent like just a bag of dead babies for the Walking Dead boot camp. There's just a drawer, and if you open it, it's just filled with all these dead babies that he sculpted and then made mold of, and then cast a fuckload of dead babies so we could put them like all around the playgrounds and stuff for the Walking Dead. It's great. I try and use them all the time and keep being told to put them away again.
Dead babies in the studio.
Would you not? There's literally next time there's a boot camp after the event, remain indoors. If any of you are across, just open there's little like tiny plastic drawers on top of the hobby benches that normally have like clippers and stuff in, and one of them, if you pull it open, it's just got like 50 dead babies.
Well, we're closing in on Halloween. Maybe you can use them for some theme.
I can't, unfortunately. Not allowed to leave the house, remain indoors because of the event.
There's no event. There's nothing happening. Don't spread lies. So the next one, Ralpatha Kos Warrior. Isn't that an A missing? Maybe.
Yeah, could be, possibly. This is short. This is from Luden.
Yes, the one who has stole your heart with his profile picture, I reckon.
He is not the only one who's used that RAF squirrel. There's somebody else on the site uses it, but I can't remember their name.
Squirrel. Or maybe he has changed his username.
Sith Squirrel as well. It's possible. These things are all possible. This is one of... Luden started knocking out... I was planning on including them all, but he started knocking out a bunch of projects. I think one night it was just like, I'm going to update like 4 projects tonight. And they're all like this, where it's just like, I've done a Chaos Warrior. Or his first project was a pair of boots. And it's just a pair of boots on top of one of these little painting stands. I was going to this class. And every now and again in the background you'll see something that is like a load of Prodos resin war machine, or not war machine,
Hordes?
What was the sci-fi version of Chronobia? Bauhaus, Capital, Warzone.
Warzone.
So it's so the red things below there I think are more Warzone figures, and like there was some really nice Bauhaus. I thought I could include them all. I went, you know what? No, I'll just do his most recent one. But it's worth poking. It's worth poking his little flying squirrel there just to see what else he's done. Like I say, they're all super short. You don't have to particularly worry yourself at all. You can just go in there and just bask in the glory of a completed boot tutorial.
The related game is Point Dungeon.
Yeah, sure, why not?
What the hell is Point Dungeon?
It's like Grosse Point Blank, but without John Cusack.
Next up is the before mentioned raising of the Titanic. No, actually the bloody bike.
Yep.
So why did you include this?
Because I knew you wanted to talk about it because you love talking about yourself. And also I knew we were going to be including other Space Marine bikes, and I thought I would give you an opportunity to wax lyrical about the ability of raising up your bike.
So simply...
To walk us through it.
Simply assemble the first 2 pieces, literally.
Yep.
The front wheel and the torso, and then cut 3 little cuts. That's all.
Yep.
More, that's not nothing.
Oh, fascinating, yeah.
I'm so happy you can't hear the Discord.
But it does look well. What was essentially, 3 cuts? Just a flat one at the back, and then that angled cut at the front.
And the angled cut at the front is just because they are 2 millimeters from the front axle going up a bit. So...
Because there was something I was looking at and I was trying to work out if it would have made a difference. And at the time it was really obvious, and I thought I don't need to make a note of that to ask you, because I'll definitely remember.
Maybe you're wanted to ask about the sides when they go on? Because
no, it wasn't that, no. I know. See, because obviously you did the front first and then raised it up to see what the difference would be.
Yes.
What would have looked like if you just kept the rear wheel
It would have
But you've got that strange chopper feel to it.
a bit. Because the front wheel is on a sort of an axle, so you could turn it a bit at certain degrees. It would still sit in the pack hole, so it wouldn't look awkward. So there's enough wiggle room in there to raise the front section. But as to be seen in this picture, I went a bit too far, and then when the side panels go on, they interfere with this. So maybe don't go down all the way like I did.
Oh, you've been interfered with.
Leave it a millimeter more up, because I've got it flush with the lower part. So that's...
Is that a bad thing, though? See, if you go back to your...
It's bad because the side panels are two large pieces that need to interlock with each other.
It shows that we've gone too far picture. Yep, that one. If you had cut... So you see the way we've got your four brackets? Cut. Yeah. If you just remove that front section...
Could possibly...
Because it kinks in and out on that anyway. You've got that C shape. So if you just brought it down straight, you possibly wouldn't have been interfering with yourself anymore.
Could have been done. I think I could if I hadn't glued it down. You're not able to see it when it's on the base.
No.
So, it's literally only making the assembly harder, because you can't get these really close enough. So you're left with a little gap on top.
It's failure. If you thought about taking a hammer to it, now you failed.
Well, I've got 2 more in the box.
Oh, that's right. You just chuck that in the bin, go on.
And then make this one an Orky one. There's always the possibility to get rid of the rider and Orkify something.
That is true. Scrap boy him up.
That's the most redeeming thing about 40k. You can always give it to the orcs. And they just think it into existence.
I'm all for that.
Next is one of the first I put in here. For some reason, I had another one in here. I know where. Wait. Ah, there it is. We need this first. Jerry did a project too. And I think you went a bit on the wrong direction.
It's not the wrong direction. I'm just...
Well, you did a leap into the future and suddenly realized, oops.
I'm currently slightly behind / in front, depending on the day of the week. So by this Saturday / Sunday, high questioning boys, I should have the big guys done, plus the super white guy who's the hero for that, plus 24 samurai looking ninja sword and shield guys who aren't there, who are the guys I should have been building.
So these are the ones that should have been built next week, or in the next batch.
The top picture where there's 24 spear and shield drones, they should not have been built yet. Possibly not even next week, to be brutally honest, or next month. There's a list somewhere.
Well, just don't set them aside too far, so you will be able to find them again.
Oh, and no, they've just gone back into the big... As I build things are just getting pushed into the confrontation starter box, while the other boxes just go into the bin. But I do quite like those big beefy ones. I like Sumo Guy leaning on the ground, ready to push somebody out of the ring, because that's how I imagined him.
Or he's just having a shit.
No.
Taking a big dump.
Leaning forward, he's already sprinkled the salt, and now somebody's about to get fucked up.
Oh, okay. If you sprinkle the salt, he needs to push somebody out of the ring.
Exactly. Have you ever seen the really, really small sumo wrestler? I've seen him. He's actually quite good. It was surprising. He's not got the strength and the bulk that some of the others have, but he's fucking nimble. And there was a great video of him squaring up to this dump truck of a human. It's just monstrous fuck. As Terry Pratchett once said, let's see how fat we can breed people. I mean, we want some massive fat bastards. And this bloke, you can see them exchanging glances at the start, and then the big guy puts one fist down like that, and then lumbers to charge into him, and the little fella springs out of the way like a fucking gazelle, and the big guy just can't stop. Momentum and the curvature of the Earth is slingshotting him away, and he just goes fucking out of the ring. And nobody's seen that one coming. So he was quite good.
Nobody except maybe one or two people knowing what he was up to.
Specialist bases? Nah, no. My bases are going to get my pre-mixed sand flock mix straight onto them. I'm going for speed and accessibility. If I could be arsed, I would have done something more clever, but despite these guys being the equivalent of space elves and the elites, I also seem to have ended up with the biggest army out of anybody over the 6 milestones. So my super elite force is the fucking horde army. So I've got more than I thought when we were picking them. It was like, oh, people keep telling me they're elite. I'll have so few to do. It'll be great. Magical. No. Fucking no. It's like every week there's like a couple of squads of those fucking force-grown drones. They're bastard everywhere.
But I think you will find yourself very relaxed once this is all done.
Oh yeah, but once I've got the paint down, I was thinking about color flipping because I'm going to go for that Beatley samurai look, and then I realized how much time and effort that will take to do that, and I realized I can do a similar effect by virtue of classic Citadel metallic paints. So I've got like amethyst purple and jade green metallic as well, and then I've also got some of these new scale 75 metallics that have been sent, which come in pink and purple and violet.
Metallics in pink and purple and violet.
Yeah, so so I will just use a black base, and then these are metallics.
That's nail polish.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. Anyway, so yeah, and then hit them with a gloss coat when I'm finished, which will be easier than trying to mask off, spray it, gloss back, spray it, color flip, then varnish it, and then matte down the stuff. That I realized I would be going through like 15 stages of fucking spraying and varnishing, and this is not going to be faster for me. So I'm going to break out some the Malefic Flesh set from Filet.
You've shown that one before.
Yeah, there's some really nice colours in it, so I want to go for really weird purpley greenish flesh tone, and then maybe like a poppy light blue or orange, because I was thinking violet at one stage, but then I'm thinking, well, if that comes in the Beatley armour parts, so the bone that you see on their standard paint jobs for the spires will more likely be sort of fleshy protrusions and big black shiny beetle armour. Now Crocodile is over there, but because we have to get this done within timescales, he's had to be set to one side. Well, I would have been much better, but I lost 3 weeks because Ben was on holidays, so all my time went out the window. Where some days I'm talking to Justin, and Justin's like, on Wednesday, me and John are just going to take ourselves offline and build and paint all of our miniatures. You're going, oh, that's nice. I thought, lads, I'll be here writing news articles and trying to write the Weekender for Thursday. Okay. You have fun painting your shit. Cats. Made me come over there and we get Corona.
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
That's me. Move on.
Well, next up then is something that, I stumbled across and only wanted to bring up because it was subject to the XLBS when Lloyd was talking about Boolean operations in 3D whilst making dice.
Right.
And for some reason, it passed everybody that Blinky has done a project on Boolean operations.
It's because at no point would I have ever looked for a project on Boolean operations. Don't forget to put the link in for the kids at home.
Oh, yes. I nearly forgot.
Because I've heard of Boolean, but I've heard of Boolean by nature of maths and didn't realise it was some sort of 3D printing nonsense.
I had my first contact with Boolean in programming when I was studying IT. So the Boolean operation in programming is quite common. So there seems to be some transition from math to information technologies to 3D printing miniatures on dice.
I'll never catch on.
So this is just a short. This is
what
it does.
Number file. I just like weird old American professors talking nonsense for like 45 minutes at a time about something I can't comprehend. It's great.
Also, I nearly forgot. This here is, oh god, Lord Saints, get off with and Orksaw. This was Jerry's project, so get in there, nag him about why isn't he doing the correct paint job.
No such thing as a correct paint job unless it's Space Wolves, in which case there clearly is, and nobody does it anymore.
And here I am proving.
Weirdly, I was going to click on that one earlier myself. Thought, no, I'll skip that one.
No, this has to be some sort of advertisement. So, public service announcement. It's Orktober. Also, what was it again? Orktober, and we have paintathon. So, this is just a short. If you want to join in, start picking up to how many miniatures you ever want, and set your goal. The paintathon was initially thought to be a painting motivation challenge from the German blog Magabotato, and I think it's a great idea if you all share your pictures on social media with the same hashtag, which is Malathon 2020 or English version Paintathon 2020. So just chug along, look at what others people do, and if you reach 42 miniatures, good for you. Don't look too close on other people's project. There are some participants who are painting machines, chucking out 300s of miniatures, literally. Some insane
Terrible
whack
bastards.
jobs. So I'm having this little project where I'm going to show off my Snotlick Blood Bowl team, which is coming along nicely, and the Indomitus box.
Do you get the shrooms with that? Where's the shrooms come from? What's going on with that shroom?
They were included in the box. They are markers.
Ah, they like your score marker, turn counter
Exactly.
things.
Yes. No, I like these much more than the stupid raised fist from the box set, which never stands up correctly.
They look so weird because of the base. Because the base doesn't look like a standard GW. It looked like a playing piece from something else. Either way, it's very square, and that one that's facing forward.
That was something I wanted to ask you. Did GW cheap out on bases? Because
wouldn't surprise me.
Those bases, if you get them, they have a little hole in the middle. You can see this here on this little chum. So there's the injection point, clearly visible, and they feel cheap and nasty.
They have changed. I don't know what point they changed, because obviously they used to do them in a spread of 4.
Yeah, and this is
on a sprue, but now they inject it directly into the middle, which means you can just get little bags of them. And presumably it's faster, easier for them to do it.
Probably cheaper.
Well, yeah, because depending on how they were feeling, some days if you bought a 10-man kit, you would get 12 bases because somebody couldn't be arsed snipping 2 off. So think of the fractions of a pence they were losing with every 2 additional bases being chucked in.
If you put them as next to like these bases from the Indomitus box, they are not as high. The edges are... They feel bad. They are not really...
They do have more flash around the actual bottom of the rim.
They just feel like some cheap skate knockoff. I can't be helped. Sorry. They don't feel like GW bases for some reason. That really annoyed me. But now snots are on it. The washers are under them, so they stay. Next up is a project that I stumbled upon again today. Big Trouble in Little China.
I seen this last week when I was looking for a golden button.
This is an older project, but I love it.
Yeah, especially the Wing Chun stuff. It's particularly nice.
Anybody who has seen the movie needs to see these miniatures. And I remember when the game was announced, I thought to myself, I need to get this at some point, and I never saw it in stores. I don't even know if...
I don't think it went to a store, that's why. I think it stayed solely... a
Kickstarter exclusive?
Kickstarter,
yeah. That's bad.
Just,
See, kids, this is why you don't do Kickstarter exclusives. It hurts you in the long run.
You know what they say? Yes, sir, the check is in the mail. Plus side, you can get Jack Burton miniature from Hassle Free, who looks really, really nice. He's in there.
We don't want to know. No, no.
There's that guy who was in every 80s action film, generally torturing Mel Gibson in most of them as well. So, not a bad guy by any stretch. And his two-gun pistol mate, who I think was something like Mr. Pistol Boy. I have a feeling he was like a stunt coordinator or something.
That's a weird job description. What do you do? I torture Mel Gibson in his movies.
Gibson. Somebody has to.
It's an ugly job, but somebody's got to do it.
When he gets further down, because nobody cares about the security guards. They're just there to be killed. But there we go. Guardians.
Lovely.
Coming up.
The two-eyed beholder.
Yep. He was so cute and happy in the film, and I really like the paint job on this, because it's, when you see it completely finished, it's really, really nice. It's got a lot going on for him. He's
also a very nice practical
adorable
effect.
Yeah. Well,
But most of these are only nearly done.
He needs a coaxing. Is that what you're saying? He needs a poke.
I think if he's still having this project around, because this is a year old now.
Yes.
He should go back to this.
So that's another one that we want people to go and just give them gentle nudge. I'm not saying threaten. Nobody's saying threaten. I don't even know where you're getting threatened from.
No violence.
No violence. No. Can't call them rat bastards. You rat bastard, I demand to see Jack Burton painted. Make me come over there. Chlorophyll. I've had my fill of you. Hey, boom.
Can you smell this rag for me? What does it smell like chloroform?
Oh.
I didn't say anything. Torturing Mel Gibson is a public service.
That is, yeah. It's good times.
Could be.
Times. Happens to him in an awful lot of his films.
Next project. This one caught my attention due to the very nice project picture.
Right.
Which reminded me somehow of a very nice film and two other not so nice films.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's very good because it doesn't remind me of Prometheus. Well done, Ed.
Though to be fair, I've watched Prometheus and what's the other one called?
Prometheus 2, The Quickening?
I don't know. I've watched them in sequence.
It starts with C. I want to say Conflagration or something like that.
I was totally bored.
Covenant.
Covenant. I was totally bored and I watched them in one after another, and it's popcorn cinema. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and I really missed the Alien, but
it's just no.
If you don't think of Alien in regards to it, it's palatable.
I say I can't even do that. Because it wouldn't have made it right, but it could be totally, same universe, different alien, whatever you want to do. The plot holes in that film was so fucking... The guy with the floating maps and his box full of map gets fucking lost. How the fuck did he... He's got a literal case full of fucking self-guiding drones that have mapped the entire building. How did he get lost?
Because he's stupid.
Apparently, psychological testing for people going to be sent into deep space together is something that corporation don't do. Is it any wonder? Just saying. Anyway.
Terrible sore ass when you wake up after smelling chloroform.
It is that side effect.
He's speaking of experience, I think.
Yeah. It's very similar to the aftertaste of Rohypnol.
So, but this project is nothing but an idea currently. I don't know why Andrax hasn't gone on with it, and I'm only now seeing that he's a fellow German dude.
Oh yeah, well,
because
was for washing machines 8
Yes.
to 12 kilograms, not the hint.
Yes, I didn't see that earlier.
Oh, did you not see that?
No, because my glasses aren't that great.
Just
Don't
get up
mention
closer. Just lick the screw. Horatio, fucking... Hang on a minute. Go into the comments.
What?
Go the fuck into the comments.
Wasn't there a
faster,
comment?
faster. Taking too long.
Pull the lever!
First comment.
Toilet
You're gonna have to move us because the first comment is Horatio Noseblower, and his fucking profile pic is that bastard goblin painted. So that fucking thing we looked at earlier.
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's an orc.
Looks like him.
That's an orc.
They all look alike. They're all the same.
See, that's an orc.
I don't know. All right, okay. I'll let him away with it. I'll fucking let him away. Because if he changed his profile pic and finished without going back to that, there would have been a beating.
It doesn't work. Wait.
We broke it. Don't break it.
So
do you think he's going to build? The alien ship then out of tubing?
I couldn't tell you. This is. I don't know what he's really out to. He's saying he's doing Moon LV426, which I have to Google what exactly what it was. And there are pipes.
Wasn't that the first one from the first film? Isn't that the planet they landed on, and that was
where they found the ship?
Where they found the crash ship with the pilot, and then they fucked off. And when she woke up, it was like, there's a colony there now. No.
Yes.
Anyway,
deactivate. Wait and come to me. Yeah, it's basically that's it.
Okay, there you go. See.
Well, there
you go. Isn't that racking many?
Do it.
I think so.
Do it. Next up, Space Hulk calling
did
boys.
Do a set of goblin pirates, not an orc pirate.
It could be.
I think it's the.
Freebooter's Fate.
I was going to say Werner Clocks.
Yeah, I think those are Freebooter's Fate.
Yeah.
Pretty sure about it. So the next up, Space Hulk by Bob Cocaine.
Bob. It's short for Kate.
Well, this is a project he started and not finished. And this, I wonder why. Because it's orcs. It's Orktober. And this is a Space Hulk. Get it done.
It's normally not far away.
No, it looks like some weird idea close to completion. Why has he stopped?
Probably because somebody was giving him smoky stout in a bar, and that just derailed him. It's generally what happens with Bob.
This is Doom. This is not Space Hulk.
They all look alike.
They all go shooty, bang, bang.
Yeah, crawling about the place. Things go pop whiz.
And he started 2 years ago.
Numerous play tests on the blah blah blah. D.
Never was meant to be serious entry for a competition.
Yeah, you know.
Now you entered it.
It's not good enough. Yeah, you put it in the project system.
Space Hulk Tactics Hobby Challenge.
I've just realised there are Lego pieces in there for some of the Greeblies.
Where? What picture?
That one, first top left.
Oh my god, you're right.
Central section. That's very clever. Big bag of Lego, you'd actually do quite a lot of detailing for your sci-fi stuff, now I think about it.
Yeah, but that will get more expensive than Forge World.
No, not once you've got one and then just cast it.
Or
that's what press modes exist for, mate.
Or you could go the other route and take the other manufacturers' bricklaying games from China.
Sure.
Why not? I may just leave a comment on this. So
I demand this to be finished. Look, there's Tart Head.
Dr. Tortenkopf.
An interesting hobby hangout. People have managed to see you send 5 messages. 12 messages? 3 messages. Can't remember. Tonight we're mostly going to see how good Pun Dancer is at typing it in English.
Oh, I'm using simple words, so it won't be that bad. Next up is another project. I think we had this one before at some point.
Oh yes,
the Pimp
this
Your
is
8080, and I think we just had. Can it be that he was somewhere else with this project as well, or we just seen the?
Well, it was Star Wars. It was the Legion weekend. He was working on.
Oh yes. that one. This is because he has somehow managed to make it look interesting, but not giving us a full picture of it.
No,
Literally.
there's a video. If you go down a couple of entries, there's actually a video that you can
Oh,
click on and see.
blind bad eye.
There you go.
Let's see.
You can ambiguate that if you want, mate.
Oh, I made. Oh, he has made sound.
Ooh. We can't hear the sound. People at home will have to make their own sound.
Well, that was short. So we didn't see much. And oh, he's buying at the same supplier I usually go to, Obi.
I'm quite content for that not to be too long, but I do like the fact that it does have the AT walking around stomping on things. 1, 2, 3, 4. 27 different sounds on a soundboard for when he's playing games. Fucking get in there.
From wherever he got this one.
Oh,
forget these sticks. That doesn't work.
If anybody, because that is not a cheap kit, and it's a fucking big kit. It's just
I know I've looked it up at the time, but I can't remember how much it was.
I think it's cheaper than buying a Kenner version still, so it's not that bad in that respect. But it is Legion scaled, so there's a lot of work going on that I could not be fucked with.
It's very, very. What is he? Oh, he's pimping your AT. He even made a trailer and never got around to make a decent. And why is he screen capturing? Why?
Why is he screen capturing what? What's wrong with you?
Well, he's recording a TV through a video camera. This isn't. Yes, you can hear it when you're on the.
I'll tell you word for it. Well, I will suggest this is the reason, because if he found that opening crawl generator in the same place I found it for the hobby challenge.
Oh yeah, I remember they charge you for it.
Yeah, you either pay
or wait
to get it now, or wait 8 months for them to get through their list of people
who want it for free.
And maybe he just went, you know what? I'm just going to put my phone in front of it and fucking record it. And I can totally understand that.
Yeah, I remember. I found that one at the beginning of this year too, and I thought, yeah, that's nice, but I won't. I think the queue was at 11 weeks the time I went there. 11 months. And no, not happening.
It wasn't that bad whenever I was there, but it was still, I think, too long or something. Was it? I got it. I definitely got it. Did I just rip it? Did I use OBS or something just to record my own version of it? Because I was a cheeky bastard. So I think I may have done something like that.
That would be a viable option. I can't remember the URL now to save my life, but hey, then again.
Star Wars crawl generator will probably find it for you.
It's very
Excuse me.
Is it going
past my bedtime?
That's only because you were up that late last night, playing again with your friends in the attic.
No, because I've spent quite a lot of time after that
discussing the demise of a certain president.
No. Whenever you all fucked off, I spent quite a lot of time making a shitload of resin.
Well, you were scraping resin whilst we were playing.
Oh yeah. And then after I finished scraping, I just started gluing it all together, and so just a couple £100 worth of resin there for unboxings. Still not finished building all the bastards.
Last entry for tonight: Dungeons and Dragons by Commodore Rob.
That's 2 D&D campaign update type things in one hobby hangout. We're fucking spoiling news.
And this again is a dormant project that has been touched in a year. And we can't have that now, can we? People, close your projects.
Just mark them completed or on hold.
Or hide them or cancel them. If push comes to shove. But don't leave us hanging. Don't start nice things and then don't give us the conclusion.
That is not a small map of the world. Have you seen the world map?
We just scrolled by, and when I put together the list, it was a very nice
Oh, you
entry.
need to click on that.
I dare not to, because it's hex-based. Fucking
Clicky
hell.
once, and clicky again to zoom in. There we go. That is your world. Don't break it. You've only got one. If you cause an apocalypse, you'll piss the gods off.
So your party starts here, and goal of your mission is here.
I'm having RuneQuest flashbacks. You are here. You need to go beyond the glow line.
Yeah, it's.
I have a feeling I know why this is currently stalled, because I think their group is not playing D&D at the moment. I think they've moved on to something else. So potentially they've cycled away from it.
Shame. Warren was a guest. Human barbarian.
I was thinking especially he appeared once.
Was that the event where he took...
that was the event. Remain indoors.
What was his name? Boris?
Boris. Yes, this was the Boris event.
Okay, I can see why they stopped playing. They all needed medical
Boris
attention.
Todger. Yeah.
They needed some counseling after Boris, the long-hanging one, appeared to earn his lion cloth.
That doesn't look like a large enough character group there. That's only like 7 or 8 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was sure that had got bigger than 7 to an unwieldy extent.
Well, big enough. or maybe Justin has said, no, I won't play anymore with you guys.
It must be true. When a stripped naked Boris comes lumbering at you out of the dungeon darkness, it's time to reevaluate your life as a dwarf rogue. Just saying.
And don't get him any clippers.
Oh, well, you know. I don't know if people have been paying attention to Hero Forge. Certainly I know Panzer Kaput has been. Nobody else is allowed on it. Fox from Hero Forge contacted us and told us you have to stop that, Panzer. But mostly what's been happening is anytime somebody makes a Justin-looking miniature, Lloyd goes in, because you can click the links and then change them around yourself, and he's been adding cattails recolored to human skin at the front to make a massive prehensile penis on every Justin, and then he keeps posting them either on Facebook or in the cog crew bit at the top that nobody else can get in. So we're just constantly getting these massive things shoved right in our faces.
And I think you said earlier that Justin is untagging him from the pictures.
Oh yeah, anytime he's tagged on face page, Justin goes in and untags himself.
I wonder why.
And who knows?
I still want to know that 3D printed army of Justins. If this was some coincidence, or there was some designer going, you know what, we're going full ham on this.
We could ask the designer. I think the designer kicks out. I could find out the designer's name. That's not a problem. We could find out. I think it's just a coincidence because Justin just has that look. But the fact he's got that big grin at the start of every weekender, you know that.
So, some subtle influence going on.
Like, if it's not based on him, it's fucking so close. He just has a very...
I was baffled by the amount of, let's say, slight madness in these miniatures' eyes. You could see they are only 3D renders. They're not even painted. And yet I got the hint that there was some sparkling madness in their eyes and these lunatic dwarfs.
He is a lunatic dwarf. This is true.
Yeah. Jerry, we're close to 2 hours. We made it. Almost.
Yes. Our finely crafted, tightly scripted 30-minute show once again, bang on time.
And we nearly not once have some derailing done.
Yeah, no, we were very good. I mean, apart from all the times you went off on one. I was great.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, lovely people of the internet, thank you everybody for being here. Everybody, thank you for pushing buttons on the YouTubes. Press a like, press a dislike, I don't care. I don't give a shit. To be honest, you can do whatever you want. This is not monetized. I do this for my own personal amusement. Also, at some point in the future, I may or may not put links on social medias on where to find us. Also, tomorrow maybe radio? Maybe Warren's doing radio again. I don't know.
As far as I know, he is.
He didn't say he wouldn't, so I think he will.
That's generally how these things go.
Well, we will see. So, thank you all again, and we will see and talk to you in the Discord. And if you don't know what Discord, screw you. Bye.